Editing Lauren here. I just finished editing this video and I think it's important for me to hop on here to clarify a few points before we dive into it. So what this video is about is it's going to be sharing my experience of this latest med reduction that I'm doing from 40 milligrams to 20 milligrams of my antipsychotic lorazepam. But there are some important things I want to clarify before I share with you my experience of doing this taper. The first point being that I have been doing this entire medical intervention of using ketogenic therapies under close medical supervision. And I am also doing this medication tapering under close medical supervision. I am being followed by my psychiatrist, my therapist, and my keto coach, who is also a nutritionist and a therapist. And they're all helping me to make sure I'm doing this in the safest way possible. So I really want to drive that point home that it's so important to be doing anything that I'm talking about, such as using the medical keto intervention, tapering your medications, or adjusting them in any way under close medical supervision. The second point is that, I'm sharing my experience of using medical keto and of the consequential tapering of my medication that is ensuing from that. And I just want to point out that it is probably not going to look like this for anyone else because this is my experience. And there's also the factor of I'm in this unique position of having been able to dedicate my entire life to this intervention and to reducing my medications over the last 5 months. And so it's probably been a faster process than it probably will be for other people. And that is completely okay if your experience of using the medical keto diet or of tapering, if that's something you're wanting or are able to do, looks different. I should also clarify that I think there are some people who think that I have been promoting medical keto as this instant swap for medication, and that could not be farther from what I am saying. I have been able to reduce my medication slowly over the last 5 months as a result of using medical keto, but it is definitely not something that can just come in and immediately take the place of psychiatric medication. Please do not do this, especially on your own without medical supervision. And the third thing I just wanted to clarify is that I am not anti-medication. I personally don't really like the way I feel on my psychiatric medication, and it's always been a bit of a goal of mine to maybe find a way to perhaps get off them at one point in my life. But I know that there are lots of people who find them really helpful, and they have been really, really helpful for me over the last decade at various points in my life in terms of helping to manage and mitigate psychotic episodes and mood symptoms and whatnot. And for some people who try the medical ketogenic diet, it may just be an add-on to their medication, their psychiatric medication that they're taking that is already helping them. And it just may be this beautiful adjunctive therapy instead of a replacement of medication. And that is wonderful too. I personally am feeling like I am in a space where it is safe for me to move away from medication and rely more strictly on metabolic therapies such as the ketogenic diet. I have talked extensively about this with my care team and they are on board with this too, and this is the best decision for me. But again, this may look very different for other people who are trying these medical interventions too. So with that all out of the way, welcome to the video now. I'm doing a big thing today. So in a past video, I shared that I guess it was about 8 weeks ago, or a little over 8 weeks ago, my psychiatrist gave me the okay to go down again on my antipsychotics to 40 milligrams, which is what I've been taking. And I experienced some withdrawal and it was kind of tough, but pushed through that and got through it and it was okay. And I've been really stable on 40 milligrams of lorazepam, my antipsychotic. And 8 weeks ago, my psychiatrist told me that if things were going really well and I was feeling really stable, that in 8 weeks' time, I could go down again to 20 milligrams. And so 8 weeks was Friday and today is Tuesday. And so today or tonight, I'm going to be going down to 20 milligrams. The reason why I didn't just go down on Friday and I waited until today, Tuesday, was because I had some big things happening at the beginning of this week. Yesterday was a race for my kids that I wanted to be really present for, and it went really, really well, and I'm super proud of them.
Sprint finish. Go Oliver, good job. Go Teddy.
Come on, beat mom. Beat mom.
You're watching your cross.
Yeah, you did it. Good job. Good job, mom.
And then today is actually my son's 9th birthday. And so we're holding his birthday party for friends today too. And that's another thing that I wanted to be as present and full capacity for as possible. Because the last time I went down on my antipsychotics, I experienced pretty intense withdrawal. And so I'm kind of expecting that to happen again. And so I wanted to create as much space to try to work through that, or for that to be my reality for at least a little bit as possible. And so avoiding big events. Now we are still having things like my son's family birthday party on the weekend. And of course, there is never ending kids' extracurriculars and whatnot to keep up with. But I had to choose Sunday. And so this felt like the right day. It has been kind of wild each time I've gone down on my dose of this antipsychotic, but this particular decrease or taper amount is feeling quite big because I'm going down to 20 milligrams, which I think is no longer even considered a therapeutic dose of this medication. I think the therapeutic dosing for this starts at 40 milligrams. And so I am going to be moving down to 20 milligrams, which feels really, really big. I'm having a lot of feelings about this, feeling really, really excited at the prospect of being so incredibly close to potentially completely getting off all of my psychiatric medication, all of my antipsychotics. Yeah, I don't know. Also kind of scary. I think it's maybe more the nearsighted energy where I'm nervous and excited and kind of in disbelief that this is happening still. So in this video, I am hopefully going to be taking you along with me through the process of this med reduction or taper amount of moving from 40 milligrams to 20 milligrams. And just a reminder, I in June of last year, so about a year ago, was on 140 milligrams of this antipsychotic lorazepam, as well as a couple doses a day of a different antipsychotic, Haldol, and mood stabilizers, lots of meds. And so to be at this point a year later is mind-blowing. I was on 100 milligrams at the beginning when I started this keto journey in the end of December. So this will be, if I've done my math right, I think like an 85% med reduction and very, very close again to getting completely off. So hopefully I will be able to show you what the process is like, what some of the withdrawal, if that happens again, symptoms look like or are like to move through. And yeah, hopefully it goes well.
You didn't test the lighter before? Happy birthday to you.
Is it yummy? What flavor is it? Ollie's birthday flavor. So I'm not showing too much of the chaos because I don't want to show kids' faces, but my God, this is a lot, and this is why I waited to go down on medications until tonight after this event. We're getting there. Okay.
You're doing great.
God, I'm sweating. Long day, but going to bed now. I just took out 20 milligrams from each of the days I have left in my pill box. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take 20 milligrams of lorazepam for the first time ever.
Proud of you.
Holy crap. I feel like it wasn't very long ago that we made that video about taking 8 pills every day. And 8 wasn't even the most I've taken in a day. Like, just, yeah. Whoa. I probably don't. So, this is what I'm taking. This is melatonin. take that to help with my sleep. Probably shouldn't take that. And then this is metformin, which I take for my PCOS, which I probably don't need to take anymore either because of keto. And this is my one lonesome antipsychotic, 20 milligrams. Whoa, wild, but this is all I'm taking right now. I think I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this, so hopefully I will be more articulate about all of this throughout this video as it progresses, but yeah. Oh, a lot of water. Dry swallow. Okay, that's good. We'll see how this goes. He's giving me privacy so I can speak intimately with the whole internet. So day 2, our toddler got sick last night. He had a really bad cough and he was having a lot of difficulty sleeping. So he was really upset. And so for the first time ever, we actually brought him into our bed to sleep with us. And oh my gosh, I've never slept with a toddler before, but he kicked me so much and kept me up all night. And so yeah, not off to a good start. I think he's also giving me his sickness. I have a sore throat this morning. So not off to the best start, in terms of setting myself up for success with this taper. But I don't think I'm experiencing any withdrawal symptoms on day 1 or whatever this is of reducing my meds. So maybe that's a good thing, at least.
Okay, so this is would this be day 1?
I called it day 1 this morning.
So this is day 1 of going down to below a therapeutic level dose.
Yeah, but I had a toddler kicking me and coughing in my mouth all night last night. So this could be
Difficult to tell whether it's withdrawal or
yeah, just
parenting.
Feel good. I was quite productive today work-wise, but that was probably also a stupid decision capacity-wise, because now I'm out and I have an evening full of children's extracurriculars ahead of me. It's about 6:30 p.m. now, and the nausea, headache, anxiety, a little bit of sweating are starting to set in. I was kind of hoping it was just sickness, but those are pretty characteristic withdrawal symptoms for this taper, so probably experiencing that. But I have to go coach my daughter's soccer game now. It was probably an oversight to have started this taper the week that the other coach for the team is away, so I have to be at the game. I can't stay homesick, but we will get through this. I can do this. It's probably worth also noting that I probably could have done these taper increments smaller. I mean, I couldn't because that was the smallest dosing, but I could have cut them in half, or I think there's what's called compound pharmacies or composite pharmacies. I don't know what it's called, but where they can, I think, make it into liquid to give you very exact titrated amounts. I don't actually know if there's any accessible to me where I live, but that is an option if you're looking for something like that. I know that there's lots like that in the States, but I thought I would give it a go going down by 20s because that's actually what my psychiatrist told me to do and recommended. That said, I'm finding that they don't always know the most about withdrawal from these types of medications and what that experience is like for patients. I was doing stable, so I thought I would give it a go, and if it's really unmanageable and it's not going well, then I will just go back up on my meds and try a smaller titration. Off to go coach some soccer. Little rainy, but how did the game go?
I scored a goal.
Yeah.
Great.
It's a good game.
And an assist.
And an assist.
And an assist.
It's a good game, but it was cold. So super rainy and cold soccer game, but made it through the first day of this taper. Not terribly. I thought it was more cold symptoms, and there is a bit of cold symptoms, but I think definitely I was experiencing some withdrawal symptoms, especially later in the day, of primarily like headache, nausea, and increased anxiety. Actually was something that I was really experiencing a lot today. Any reflections on day 1 of my taper?
It seemed a little rough in the afternoon. I mean, I think it largely had to do with think it largely had to do with you not getting a great sleep last night, and that paying attention to sleep is really important.
Right. So that was something that I was going to comment, that it's 11:30 at night right now. So that's not good. I've been trying to be better about going to bed earlier. And I think that's particularly important right now during this taper. But also, by the time we got our daughter to bed after getting home from the soccer game, it was like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and you're like, what are you going to do with your evening?
Yeah. I turned on the coffee machine to have decaf coffee and stuff and realized, oh, no, actually, it's bedtime. And yes, that is far too late of a game for an 11-year-old. And a 32-year-old. It's too late. We'll try to do better to stay on top of sleep. Maybe I will schedule in a nap tomorrow. I do also just want to mention that it still feels a little bit surreal, and I'm almost giddy taking my medication. Taking this low of an amount feels like an exciting part of my day. I'm really, really excited and happy and giddy about just being on 20 milligrams of my antipsychotic, and that's it. This is wild. And I think part of that feeling is just being so close to potentially, next step being no medications at all. There's a lot to wrap my head around there. There's a lot to process there, and lots more to talk about, but that's feeling wild and big. Little update. I am irritable as F. Rob actually just said he's had enough with me, but maybe not. He's stroking my face right now. I wanted to just be a slug today. But Rob made me do some work, record a short, cracking the whip. Now he's making me go get groceries for the family, and I just... It's good. It's okay. We're trying to make an effort. Rob is trying to make me make an effort to not get coffee out anymore, because we have a really good coffee machine at home. But sometimes, when you just need a little treat, you know, a little treat helps sometimes. Okay, we're going grocery shopping now. I'm irritable. I have a really bad headache. But other than that, I'm not doing too bad. Been thinking about it more, and I think, I'm kind of in a state of shock a little bit, and excitement and awe that I have been dependent on psychiatric medications, primarily antipsychotics, for over a decade. And, throughout that decade have struggled extensively with difficult side effects and whatnot as well. And so to be this close now to potentially being med-free in the very near future is huge. This guy won't leave me alone. This doesn't look like groceries. Yeah, no. That doesn't look keto. Why not? So I'm filming this so I get to create the narrative that Rob's the problem. But it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm so grumpy, and I'm not helping with grocery shopping.
I think that you do have a level of awareness about it, though, so that makes it a little bit easier to have kind of levity about it.
Where are we? All of our soccer games.
Do it again. Do it again.
Keeping Rob in line.
Do it again. Do it again.
I had one, hey ref, and she immediately told me to stop.
Recovering?
So it is now Friday. I began this taper on Tuesday night when I took my medications before bedtime. So I have taken 3 doses of the reduced amount of my antipsychotic now. And it was a little rough for maybe the first couple days where I was definitely experiencing some of the withdrawal symptoms that I've talked about already in this video. But I think today, day 3, day 4, depending on how you count it, I think I am starting to definitely feel a huge reduction in the amount of withdrawal symptoms that I'm experiencing, and it's feeling pretty manageable, which is a different experience than what happened with the last med reduction or taper that I did, where I was struggling quite a bit for a few weeks with withdrawal symptoms. This seems to be getting better already, which is great, and I'm excited about it. It is a little bit confusing because I am sick, and so I don't feel 100% yet, but it does feel more like I'm dealing with a cold than that I'm dealing with the withdrawal symptoms that I've been experiencing. So it's probably important to share some of the stuff that I've been trying to do to help myself get through this withdrawal period. So Nicole, my keto coach, had recommended to me that I increase my magnesium supplementation. Magnesium, she was telling me, is good for stress, whatever kind, whether any kind of stress that your body is under. It helps you to manage and move through that. And so I think that has actually been quite helpful to increase that magnesium supplementation. I've been trying to focus on getting good sleep because I know that that's really important. I haven't been doing the best job of that. The night before last, I only got about 6 hours. That was because I went to bed too late. And then I woke up at like 6 a.m. for some reason. I was a little bit worried for a bit that was perhaps a bit of insomnia creeping up as a withdrawal symptom, but I think it had more to do with the fact that the sun is rising early and we had our window open and I had a bad cough that woke me up. So there was other factors because last night's sleep was much better and I got a much better rest and didn't wake up. So I don't think that's actually something to worry about. Nicole also recommended to increase my protein intake. So I've been trying to incorporate more amounts of meat or, protein sources in my daily diet. I haven't felt the most capacity over the last several days to exercise and move my body, but I know that that does help me deal with stressors and symptoms that I'm experiencing, be it symptoms of my illness or symptoms of withdrawal. It always is kind of helpful to move my body with some form of physical activity. So I haven't really been doing that over the last 3 days, but I am planning to go out right away for a run with Rob, and hopefully that will help even more. But that reminds me, actually bringing up symptoms, that a really important thing to mention is that I have experienced no psychotic symptoms with this this taper and experience of withdrawal. In the past, when I reduced medications and experienced withdrawal, it would come quite often with symptoms of psychosis. And even just the last time I reduced meds, I did have some manageable symptoms, but some symptoms nonetheless of kind of hallucinations or perception differences and stuff, and a bit of paranoia and that sort of thing creeping in. But I have not experienced that this time, which I am grateful for and I think is a really good sign as well. If you're looking for more tips on how to effectively reduce your medication or taper off your medication under the guidance of your psychiatrist and care team, there's a really helpful video on the Metabolic Mind YouTube channel where they interview Dr. Georgia Eid on the topic of tapering medication. So check that out if that's something that interests you. I will link to it in the description of this video as well. Another thing that I kind of proactively did with this taper was I scheduled an appointment with my psychiatrist to be able to check in about 2 weeks after he told me I was able to do this reduction to 20 milligrams of lorazepam, just so that I had access to him to follow up if there was any problems or anything. So I have that phone call appointment next week on Friday, so a week from today, which will be just shy of 2 weeks from when I started this taper or reduction. So it's going really well, but that's kind of helpful to know that I have that time for check-in with him as well. How's it going?
It's a little chilly.
Right, it feels good.
That's so good.
Should we hold hands? Well, at risk of this becoming a very uneventful vlog, my withdrawal symptoms have abated really, really quickly. I felt a bit of nausea on the run, and I get bouts of it. That's a bird. I get bouts of nausea here and there, and I have a bit of a headache every now and then, but it's really not that bad, and I'm quite happy about that. And so, yeah, that was my experience with this taper or withdrawal. It was relatively uneventful. I anticipated having some element of withdrawal. I did think it was actually going to be worse than it was because, again, it was worse the last time I went down, but yeah, I'm officially on 20 milligrams of my antipsychotic, which is the lowest possible dose, and again, below therapeutic dosing. So we'll keep bringing you along as the journey continues to unfold, but for now, I'm really excited and really happy with how it's going. What?
Just capturing some video here.
So we have 3 different meals we've made tonight. We've got the keto. We've got the only eats pasta. And we've got some chicken pot pie and vegetables.
Leftovers.
Leftovers.
Yeah. This looks good though.
And then we've also got a 4th meal for dinosaur.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching that. That was my experience of this taper of my medication. I just want to, again, remind you the importance of doing this under the supervision of a care team, of your psychiatrist, and being in close contact with them if you're adjusting your medication at all and consulting with them first. Also super important to be doing the medical ketogenic diet as a medical intervention under the supervision of a care team as well. I think I talked a lot throughout this video about how big it's feeling, that I am so close now to potentially being off of medication. And I don't know, hopefully we'll explore more what that means for my life. I have definitely noticed that I am feeling clearer. And actually people in my life have commented on that as well. So I don't know, that feels good. But I've also received comments from people saying that, oh, well, you probably just don't need them right now, and it's only a matter of time before you have a psychotic episode and crash, and, thanks for that. But I think to address that, I'm not completely against ever taking medication again. I think that I just feel like I'm in a place right now where I can be stable doing the keto diet, doing metabolic therapies, and maybe not needing medication at this point. If there does come a time where I experience increased psychotic symptoms or fall into a psychotic episode, I'm definitely not opposed to using medication again to manage that kind of on a more acute basis. And perhaps that's an important part of this discussion, that it doesn't really need to be this all or nothing mentality where you're anti-med or you're pro-med or anything. And I think it's more just about finding what feels sustainable, what feels most effective for you in terms of where you're at in your journey of navigating your own mental illness. So with that, thank you very much for watching. As always, wishing you and your loved ones good health, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.